Any boy, Narmogalang, aho imarola, ani boy, any boy, any boy, no, Narmogalang, imarola, ani boy, any boy. Oh, Narmogalang, imarola. Who would believe? Who would believe that a city board? Who believe that a city board? Anyway, man. ዛሬ ምንድነው የሰማሁት? ሳህሊቱ ወሮማ በፓሪስ ከተማ አጀቢ ዋቦማ ባጋሮ ከተማ የዘባሽሮማ ባጋሮ ከተማ አጀቢ ያሽሮማ ባጋሮ ከተማ የዘባሽሮማ ባጋሮ ከተማ አጀቢ Asuma pagar kutuma ajabu. Nama Mindino Paris, Mindino Sisi al Tipsi al Buraha Sisi al Tipsi al Murt al Kolot al Kolot al Sisi al Buti. Anyway. What Arab got on Ethiopia? Arab got nothing on Ethiopia. Arab, you got shit on Ethiopia. America, you got shit on Ethiopia. America. I like when Iranians demonstrate. I like their accent. Go America. It's like they make it like that fucking biblical story, you know, the Gog and Magog. You know, the American Protestants are trying to push the agenda to Revelation Canal, the Gog and Magog situation where Iran, Russia, the bear, you know, on this side, on the other side, the good is in biblical terms is the West, kind of thing. They want to push agendas to some kind of biblical proportion, and Ethiopia is in the middle. You know, she don't know what the fuck to do. What the fuck they doing? And then they do tricky because in that fucking revolution kind of narrative they got, the Sudan is also the Magog, so it has to do with Ethiopia. It has to work with Ethiopia. But then when they see the situation is tricky, it's so fucking. I don't know. I don't know why they push the agenda this far to the point that life don't make sense no more for people. Professor, do you want me to look like Professor? I am a girl. بس يقرا بمن دروت أبو الشيء اللي عين من عبلاش عندكو دي سلكو كاب شابيراي زاغول أينو زاغول مسين بركم بارتي أي أنا إيطال كتر بيزا لان سيتش دردرات الله أنو زاغ عندي ديارو تمار سامج لكن من قدام ما تم كان قدام you know ሁለት ሶስት የማውቃቸው ሰዎች ነበሩ አይመጡም ስለዚህ ደረደርኩ ማለት ነው እና እነሱና ምስ ተግዲሻ anyway anyway um, uh, sister sister Sahala work sister Sahala work they say she's in Paris Al Burhan Al Futta Al Murta Al Murt Al Burhan hey guess what how many of you know that President Al-Sisi of Egypt is 1 meter 66 centimeter. People, listen to me, please. Listen how things are unfolding. Really, we don't have to ignore numbers. I just find out today by myself. I don't know even what drives me to find out one. Like usually when people tell me you wake up or you're doing something and one sudden you look at your watch or you look at your mobile phone or a laptop and then you see 11:11 and you see the third eye is gonna open but me I think I don't have this fucking third eye and I don't know how to read people mind. I can read facial things in what people do not really knowing what people think, so I don't think my third eye is open. I never do this weird shit. Today when I Google this light skinned pygmy, the Egyptian president Al Sisi, is 66 years of age. He's 66 years old. 66 years old this year. And something that's permanent on his eyes is that he is 1 meter 66 tall. 1 meter 66 centimeter tall, which is pretty small dude, short dude. But is that not peculiar, people? The Gog and Magog. I don't think the Gog and Magog is clearly, clearly separated. And which side is the Magog when it comes to the Sudan and Egypt? I have my own uh my own processes, my own uh, uh chessboard in how they're gonna end up. It's like now Egypt comes for the rescue of the Sudan. Hey Sudan, my lover, my ex, hey my bitch, hey my dark skinned bitch. It's like Ali G, you know. The Egypt is now it's like Ali G for Sudan. You know what I mean? Ali G, put this black pussy kind of thing. Julie, you want to mean yeah, Julie, woman you turn me on kind of thing. That's what they want to play. Egypt want to play on the Sudan because niggas can go really stupid. I mean, it's our destiny, but some things I have to tell. I like Julie, you want me, Julie. woman, you turn me on. Woman, you turn me on. Dia Arab arada huno Arab rapper yona bazaman adil. Julie, you know you want me, Julie. You want to turn me on. Woman, you turn me on. Kind of thing, man. Cause I got so many languages, sir. I got so many kuchulo. Ayo. Illusional samash govalo tashalo. Ayo, man. Ayavri hui. Ayavri hui. Ayavri hui. Ayav Sudan hui. Ayavri hui. Ayavri hui. Saraganyo lagadalu sata ayavri hui. Oh, Mama Africa. So the thing is, if I think of the Gog and Magog kind of biblical, bullshit people trying to push this bullshit world, chaotic bullshit world that they make chaotic on purpose, and trying to push bullshit kind of man-made borders and pushing to some kind of things that's already written kind of thing. The world is struggling, these powerful people. It seems in one side. On the other side, they are pretty much preoccupied by their own troubles and tribulations, like what they want to achieve in the near future, what kind of political design they got, usually for a century or so, for a century of half, economic crash, you know, where the virus strikes and this shit and that shit, you know. Ya gani so tanya bagro mamut ha tolar. The West is tough. But by the end of the day, by the end of the day, truth will prevail. And that truth someday will come. Only this tiresome human life. The sweetest life we can be in this fucking short span we got as human beings. The sweetest memories they want to take away from you. Every fucking time spent, like in Holland, they say, every day, any day that has passed without laughing is a day that's not been lived. They say. En dag zonder lachen is één dag niet geleefd. They say, it's like if you miss one day without a smile, it's a day that you didn't live it. Not to its fullest, but you didn't live it at all. You know what I mean? And then usually what comes to my mind is that always this Bob Marley song come to my mind. That Bob Marley lyrics. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. I know you don't know what I really want. Never been told. Now you see the light. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. You don't give up the fight. Me, no man. I had. No. Anything motherfucker changing the background of Saturn. how they set the rules in contradiction, and how they preoccupy people with bullshit. Especially the term politics. The term politics. Read my lips, people. Read my lips. Especially the term politics is used mainly to imply just that, you know. The term politics they use exactly for that. The term politics they used to for that by politicians. You know, just they have this fucking shit like to disorientate people. They dis fucking orientate people. You know what I'm saying? As a politician, how I understand politics and politicians, no matter where they are, what kind of agenda they have, what kind of result they want to get out of some kind of rhetoric or narrative. I find out this. It don't matter what media talks about, because media has never been about some kind of truth. It is a narrative, it's a rhetoric, it's an agenda that should be given in a certain time. Like it's not the first time you see Palestine and Israel clash, but this simply have to understand that it happened to be it happened to be on May in the middle of May 2021 it starts. You know what I mean? But this not the first time that Palestine versus Israel kind of things go escalate. The escalation is it depends on how you portray it. You see, for example, you can talk as if 3,000 people perish, you know, something somewhere else in the world, somewhere in the world, and you may believe like when they tell you on the media, when they give you some kind of attention, and you feel like no, this human psyche, human beings, human mind, especially in this century, in our century, we are programmed with subliminals, with a lot of kind of mind tricks, with sound frequency, with a lot of things, with a lot of wrong kind of propaganda bombardment. We believe, for example, if I tell you, damn, this guy's dead, you get shocked. Damn, he died. It's like we are mass hypnotized, And if I tell you like 300 motherfuckers are dead, man. What the fuck? On 300 of them dead. You see how I explain it? Just like these days, YouTubers, big YouTube channels that usually people say they are bankrupt. I don't know how you are a big YouTube channel, you have a big YouTube channel and you bankrupt. I don't know how it works, because me, I talk to myself. I never enjoy what ordinary people enjoy, except people know me and I don't know why. You know, they start to show up. The people that I subscribe for, they show up like they come up with putting the video like, "Man, what the fuck happened to this dude?" So that you open it. I think the subscription is by click, you're in, kind of thing. You see, this the same way. Sometimes media, even if these people, these freelancers, these media people who read news, in how they do their face, in how they um, try to resonate their energy to the viewer, is like they are in your house. They're talking one-to-one correspondence kind of. I do like to eat grape and eat and talk at the same time, because the one this thing can get in your nasal cavity. You know what I'm saying? And they use a lot of tricks from cartoons for children all the way to media, advertisements, billboards. I mean everything. You know. Plus, they have your physical brain present somewhere at the same time. Somewhere at some time they will find you in a corner. I was listening to this guy, Dr. Rodas kind of guy. He studied theology and he studied cosmos and stuff. And it's intriguing. Today he had this YouTube video where he was telling about legendary natural kind of stones and universal secrecy, those kind of stones they got, the sound that you get from them, whether it irritates people, it disturbs their spirit, or it makes you feel fine kind of thing, you know a really interesting story he was telling. And he said, I think in the future uh, um, war will be fought in the future using a sound. And I see Dr. Rodas, I thought, I mean, he have a deep knowledge about things that people don't really care about. I say, you don't know? Nigga, you don't know American military used that kind of stuff in the Gulf War? Nigga, you don't know that in America right now, in America, anybody who live in America knows. You can ask any Ethiopian in America, and you probably have traveled there, that the police have a weapon. They have a weapon to cut a criminal wi- without shooting. They bring a car and they they project the sound to you. But that thing is now for 20, 30 years. This technology is for 100 years. Radio wave frequency that can fucking. You don't need magnesium. You don't need chemicals to fuck up people brain. You can let a person commit suicide just with the sound. Already, brain can be programmed. Brain can be reprogrammed. You can delete people's memory. You can force false memory. You can put false thoughts on human brain because the human brain is already mapped. You can map a human brain using frequency. You have to understand that this shit is not science fiction, man. This shit is real. This shit is real. And I said, this dude didn't know that? Nigga, this shit didn't know. You don't know that? What do you think is Elon Musk telling you? You really think Elon Musk is thinking about transporting all your sons of bitches, and show you this, like your sons of bitches are looking at this TV series where you have Star Trek, Star Trek, Star Fox, Star this, you're gonna, fantasize travel. That's not mainly what it is. The initial, the initial projects like SpaceX and shit, they may not tell you, but it has also more sinister things in it. You have to understand. They're gonna hang a lot of things on this atmosphere where they may have an upper hand for conflict, and it becomes more philosophical because you can imagine about that world what Michio Kaku don't come and tell you what the fuck is happening. Michio Kaku will tell you what Michio Kaku has to tell you, not that he don't know, but he will tell you the part that you should know. Elon Musk will tell you the part that you should know. The rest, if you can imagine or if you can speculate why high-tech things are made, it's not primarily just to discover summer and to bring gold from there and make all houses with gold, like to change the entire world with the minerals and the things that they find in Mars or whatever. You know that. People never ask When they see scientific achievement or something, they don't see the other part of what the fuck. It takes a brain like me to dissect things like that. You know, you know. I've seen it all. If somebody have the experience of that sort, it's highly likely that person knows more than what he already experienced. Because this thing can be transformed. You know, like if I show you a dime and I tell you I have one dime, then you have to imagine he may have also two dime in his pocket. He's showing me only one kind of thing. I have to think like that. We don't think like, oh, he got only one dime. You have to understand that. I'm not talking about money and ownership. I'm just giving an example. It happened to be a coin, if you have anything like that. So these people, they come is all this fucking ass crazy story, but everything is about control. Control, control, control. Whether humanity is gonna break free from this is highly unlikely because people say I was just listening to some guy who's a writer and he was a YouTuber saying, "Oh, humanity gonna break free." He took, this kind of people, vegetarian people who took positive and positive vibe and the shit, because they think is good for human psyche and humanity because life is too short or whatever. But to me, COVID itself is evident enough for how powerless people are. I'm not really encouraging on YouTube video to to make people revolt against authorities or whatever. That's not bad. But just we are breakable because just we needed an order and we needed trust on people that we're supposed to trust because in one way or another, all people are dependent on a certain kind of system. You know, all people say, I'm independent, I can travel the world, I make my money. Yet you are not independent. I can fucking put you in some corner. Like in the virus time, it don't matter how much money you make, the entire place is locked down. What the fuck you do with the money? What the fuck you go? And what more evidence you want as human beings to know how a system can be designed to paralyze you? I mean, it's obvious. Okay, this can be real. There is some kind of virus. In the initial stage, people were tripping. Oh, it's 5G. It is this. It is that. They fucked up. This, that. The vaccination is something in the vaccine. Blah blah. But anyway, even though we are divided in how it is, you see, this is the reality of we the sheeples. So nobody can come and talk to me some kind of positive vibe. The world, we're gonna this, we're gonna that. Yeah, you can make the best out of life, but yet all of us are dependent on some kind of system and some kind of energy that is strangling the entire world. I'm not really affected by COVID, not economy wise, not nothing, because my lifestyle is usually locked down. My life is already locked down a long time ago. For people, it's fucking hell, but to me, it's just normal. It's just normal because I really experienced this in normal times. So it was not a big deal to me. But when it is uh, an issue for the entire world, then then I really felt what people could feel if they experience my personal life. And I say, oh, they're gonna cry like this. Oh, so I must be tough. I feel like, yeah, man, I'm some kind of tough cookie. I feel like I'm a fucking tough cookie, badass motherfucker. Actually, yeah. And even many more nasty things they do around you, to make you feel fucked up. It's not about people, but it's about some kind of. some kind of fucked up energy. That being said, if you see it in political sense and in how this world works, in how people relate in countries and borders and interest groups and blah 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 blah. And then, for example, if we talk about this tense situation, for example, in East Africa, in Arabia, you know, that's all about that kind of that politics. That politics, that term they use, politics is usually it's like you have media, you have educators, you have a lot of things, you have narrative, you have rhetoric, you have a lot of story that you perceive to be true. And beyond that, there is one thing that I understood. Politics primarily is to mislead people in thinking that what they listen, what they hear in media is real. Not in a sense because a lot of people come on YouTube, people that they are considered as conspiracy theorists and all. It's like not what they tell you is true. This is just a matrix. You just and I understood. I understood like even when people tell you something, different people understand different things. They don't really understand what the person uh, try to inform you. When I tell you, for example, media, educators, academics, and politicians and media, and everything is reflected through media, through social media or mainstream media, any medium they got. Even people misleading people in thinking that they know. But in general, basically, the word politics, as I understand now, is primarily created for people not to know what is going on anywhere. And people are puzzled. Okay, but it's like financial market. There is a bullish market and a bear market, and you're just staring at the candles, yeah, and the graphs and the candles and the gap, and whatever you have to buy and sell. And then, okay, when you see that, then sell. When you see that, then buy. Then at the same time, everybody is trying to make money, whether you want to buy, whether you want to sell. And for everybody, there is one rule: you sell or you buy. There's only one rule. There are only two things. It's like going to some kind of casino, a roulette table, and there is green and red numbers. 36 divided by is 18 numbers. If it's American, there is one zero, more zero on a roulette table. But okay, if you know how to trade, then maybe there are other signs that you may take advantage of, whatever. But in general, you see, that is how bollocks it is to drive the mass crazy. Because and then okay, if anybody come and advise you when this happened, then sell and then buy, every people react on the same time to the things that they're told to do. So you see, it don't make sense. The same way, this is how information is transferred. In the same way, thinking like people think like, okay, politicians of this country, leaders of this country, and you have these naive journalists who don't understand. Before they go to school, they don't really know this truth, or their mind is not convinced that the world is this political game. They may heard like, yeah, it's a chess, it's a grand chessboard, it's a game. This politics is a game, and how countries deal with each other, or the people who represent the so-called country, they deal each other, is in that manner. That's how they understood. But the gravity, or the the how do you say that, the amount of understanding, you know the amount of understanding, I don't think is there for so many people, including people who work in media. You can be a journalist, and everything that you could uh, probably understood, you know. Hmm? It's like how much you understand about something, how much you understand about any subject, any person, any profession. There may be an engineer who understood what I'm talking about some kind of story that a journalist was supposed to know, but it happened to be an engineer, a chemical engineer, or, you know, sort of. And that makes it easier for the people who control the world to play this game. And then all people with all kind of things that they learn in their life, these disciplines in the West educational system, are people who are wise, or people who just read things and who know things. People who acquire maybe general knowledge, or whatever kind of situation you be, makes it easier for people who control the world to keep on doing what they do. And the greatest misunderstandings come when the very smart people, when the very few smart people who understood the very thing, um, have no influence on on the matter. You know, I mean, then it will be easier to mislead people in how the real world works. And then sometimes I think it becomes a must for media, for people who are trained to work in the media, because it has to do with your life and with what kind of profession you want to exercise. Because not people just go to a journalist school to be a journalist, and yeah, they want to get paid, they want to just make a living out of it. No, there is some kind of interest, they like the profession or whatever. To me, the term politics is used. I mean, I don't know how they define politics, you know, because I'm not a political science student or a teacher, or any people who have to do with using the term politics. But in my thing, in my understanding of it all, politics is nothing but to mislead. Politics is to mislead people, not to understand what is going on. Primarily, that it should be defined that way. And then imagine the amount of information, the amount of money, the amount of media there is when you mislead people. You know, it's like if you hide something in a house, in a room, and you don't show people where you put it, and you tell 10, 20, 100 people to get in the room in some kind of messy place, and you tell them, look for this thing. You throw somewhere randomly and look for something. You know, the probability that they get that thing in a very messy place, and so you throw some kind of tiny thing, is time consuming, and they may not get it at all. That's what's going on in this world. I swear to God. You have a general picture, You have demagogians, religious people. You have a lot of kind of people. You know, a lot of kind of people. There are times that you feel like, yeah, we need religion. Actually, when we see this modern in modern time, how these people we perceive that they control the world, they have different names to refer to this kind of powerful people. They don't want us to socialize. That's why they created the internet. That's why they created viruses so that people you could have a lot of narrative. Just talking of that kind of thing, and then blackout. They black out my brain, and then if like, yeah, in this kind of time, a religion may be necessary, and then people in this kind of narrative, people may think like, yeah, religion is necessary because religion is one thing that socializes people. That people come together, pray together, have that energy to resonate with themselves, to have that positive energy. Because in religion, there's only positive energy because people were supposed to to perceive that they were worshiping some divine thing. Of course, people get together. It's unlikely harsh words will be spoken. It's unlikely there's a negative energy because people suppress everything when they go there. You know, from this perspective, you see, a lot of issues can be dissected in terms of and in times of conflict, how monstrous religious people can be, and religion itself can be used for a monstrous, merciless killings and division of people. You know, and you go on and on. So society have a baggage of every kind. Imagine when you are powerful people, and financial, so you can pull the purse strings of people. You can, you know, and then, man, those people are living life. Those people are living life because it's kind of funny. And sometimes I want to imagine today in the morning. I want to imagine me being so powerful, like these people. They talk this conspiratorial story, Freemasonry. These big people that you can see. Even the leaders are not really the powerful people. The leaders are the pimps who pimp the shippers. Basically, what in the most powerful country in the world, like in America, um, you have some kind of people. They say the most powerful man of the world, and they show you a president. But there never been a time that he has to touch a red button and blow us up. At least in these 70, 80 years, it didn't happen anywhere. And they have political rhetoric. They themselves needed money. They themselves have lobbyists that they have to bow. They have to, you know. So it's kind of business empires. So they're just merely pimps to pimp us, to pimp the shippers. In every country you might be, or situation you might be, you may not be really directly affected, because they talk about tax and they talk about what kind of system they're going to use, who they're going to favor when they get elected or whatever. But in general, that's the story. Yeah, it just pimps. But there are people who are more influential than them, but their influence you know is not to be seen. They don't exert the force that you expect to be exerted on you. You know, no, that heat is that powerful man. You say that he get that heat. You know, if they fuck up, if there are interest groups or whatever. I mean, this is easy to imagine. You have to understand people. And then all these fucking pimps, we call leaders and politicians, they have hierarchy, they have channel, how they mislead people. And the weakest links are the media people. The weakest link in a sense that it's hard to believe that people don't really understand basics in their own without having mm, been trained in some kind of discipline to be a journalist or to be a freelancer or to be whatever they are on media. And they have a certain kind of narrative. They have a certain kind of discipline, secrecy in what they do. You know, in every media, it depends. It only um, it's only different from one media to the other in how much they know, but relatively in that kind of medium they got. Yeah, and then they tell you from the moment that you are conscious, from the time you come out from this level of tabula rasa, when you are not empty no more, you're sucking, you are not it's not the innate understanding of it all. The other matrix is closed. You come from the mothership, you're born, and the environment shape you in a certain way, so now you are fed some kind of information from early age, religious conviction, and how you have to be successful, how you have to communicate peers, how you have to communicate people, who you are, you know, everything will be said. And then you go out there in the world, everybody have some kind of character in this shit. And then actually you're already programmed to understand things already in a certain manner. Now it only the difference is this guy understands something different than this guy in this level, in that level, you know. So people don't have to go to that kind of detail. That's primarily how they make all these disciplines, psychologists, philosophers, sociology people, blah blah, and all these people that we know as a term used as social engineer, blah blah, social engineers, blah blah. And then when you think like you're awakened, that you understand what is going on, all you want to wish is to be big guys. I swear to God, sometimes I want to feel like that's what the things that I want to tell you. I want to imagine like I'm a fucking monster. And I hear wars and rumors of wars, like Bob Marley say. Wars and rumors. Everywhere is chaotic wars. This guy, repetitive, what they call perpetual wars. Like the Palestinian Israel case. I mean, how many times this clash, oh, escalation, oh, the world is gonna pop, oh, you know. Even that's not evident enough for people, just a game. Of course, people can be touched because they see horrific kind of killings and rockets flying all over the place and bombardments and this shit and that shit. Of course, that's the spice. You know, you cannot cook food without spice. It's not gonna taste. It's not tasty. And then today in the morning, I was fantasizing. Let me imagine I'm a powerful person and how the world is wrong in different ways that I think. Only when I think if the world should be a better place. Like, usually people say Hitler was a monster. Yes, this kind of people were monsters in a sense. Their their uh, their gratification, uh, when they gratify themselves, or the things they come up with to see that better place, because primarily Hitler didn't just show up just to destroy the world. I mean, nobody's gonna believe, yeah, Hitler show up or Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, you can think him as a unifier, European kind of model, you know. That's the project. That is the continuation of Napoleon project. This European community, but in any way, from intellectual point of view, if you see these empires are not really perceived as good things in these days because they they march on things, right? Like if you think like America also is an empire, yeah, that a lot of people in a lot of places, you know, have something like they this place, it's as if they have beef with everything kind of thing. When you are powerful, you are not loved really. And then, but primarily, like for instance, in the Second World War, if you think like Hitler, I'm not talking about the political aspect of it, or the economical aspect of it, or powerful people, just primarily the person coming out about what is the politics and the game behind it, or the oil companies, the oligarchs, blah blah. Not that story. Leave the conspiratorial story, which people may perceive as conspiracy or real or false news, or whatever. But just Hitler. What comes to people in mind? A monster, of course, a monster, because he thinks Jewish people are weasels who make money and who destroy that race, that super race, or whatever. But primarily, if you really think of it, Hitler imagined some kind of beautiful place, but it only matters who he want to include, because he have a preconceived, a determined kind of story in his mind. He want to see something of his own. So in this case, you can think of him as God, the God kind of the God notion that people have, because primarily people think like God can make you born fucked up. It's his will. He can't kill you. It's his will. He can burn you in hell. He already tell you what you have to do, what you have not to do. It's his will. Kind of submission you have for the divine kind of thing. So when I say like he feel like God, is that kind of understanding I want people to have when I say Hitler. So after things happen, like you see the Jewish Holocaust, the horrific human history that we saw. But primarily, the initial thing is that he have the ambition, and he was doing it. Scientists engage in science, in medicine, dissecting people, killing them. You know, like when you think about progress, nothing comes cheap. Nothing comes cheap. Everything is a sacrifice. People die when they try to make a flying thing like planes. Now we fly. I'm African. My ancestors had nothing to do with that, at least in this close history. But now I sit in a plane as if some kind of, okay, we are all humans. My grandpa was on that. No, my grandpa was not in that experiment, because I'm African, I'm Ethiopian. Yeah, I'm not talking about ancient historical knowledge. No, I'm talking about what we saw in these 2 3 centuries. Kind of thing. So everything have sacrifice. People who dare to innovate, they sacrifice. People get burned. People, crash, and then through that, you know, a repetitive thing, then something will burn. Yeah, that thing was there in the Second World War. You see, so the initial thing of the initial notion of any monster in history is actually there is something positive to it, but it only is in whose eyes, because this man, he want Ariel race, some kind of blonde people with blue eye, with green eye, the most selected ones, who are purely Ariel race Germans. And it's not just that, because they are not just idiotic people like in the time of Napoleon Bonaparte, who fuck around and mention everything. No, there was some kind of industrialized kind of world that created the world that we know as we know it. You see? So You cannot say they're just stupid white people. No, they were not stupid. That's when a rocket engine, that's when everything you see was created, you know, medicine, everything, surgery, everything have has been done there. That was the time. You see, so my point is the initial thing of a monster is actually is progress, hard work. You know, there is some kind of people were liberated to change something to be better, and the history unfold victimizing some people or anything, but in general the world turned to be what it is. Yeah, probably if Hitler win, and let's imagine that the political rhetoric is this, but we know it's not this. But imagine Hitler won, then probably now people like us will be victims. I don't know, probably 20, 30 years ago already. I don't know how it's gonna unfold, but we'll be wiped out or we'll be slaves or whatever things they tell us historians. But but the technology will keep on going, I think, because these people created a lot of things. So the initial thing of a monster is progress. So I wake up and I remember this thing they talk about the stone in Atlanta, the Georgia guide stone that they want to, most conspiracy theorists they talk, they want to reduce the population of the world to 100,000. And I feel like, man, I'm done with that shit. Because when you're really tired of people, oh, this war, that war, that war, these people die. Yeah, actually, I want to join that group, that monster group that say, hey, we have to whack out some kind of 3, 4 billion people and let's see the world. Let's start all over again, like the world population becoming 1 billion max or 500 million. So we have to whack out 6 billion. I think I'll be one of the people who get whacked out, most probably. You know what I mean? But I was just imagining I'm the powerful. I'm those people who will be in a bunker waiting, you know, to come out from the fucking shit after the operation is over, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I know that my mental process when I was thinking like that. I don't want people to perceive me as like fuck a monster psycho, whatever. But you know what I mean? Kind of thing. People can think further when they contemplate like what the fuck is this world? Every time the same story. Every time the same story. Now, it's always cool for people to be perceived as good people when they say, oh, horrible, oh, people die, horrible. And some people say, no, I don't want it to do with what's going on in the world because it disturbs my energy. I can't change anything anyway. You're not going to think like these people are monsters because, yeah, it just don't make sense. And then if you see the notion of this kind of people and they see, so why you need journalism? Why somebody has to tell me what's going on somewhere? You know? And you have a thing, they have a say like, mm, if there is no freedom somewhere, and there's no freedom everywhere. Or a lot of sayings, a lot of idioms and stories, proverbs, blah, blah. But um, finally, in my age, what I saw the world, the narrative, the places of conflict, the story, the people who are involved in that conflict, everything is the same. As if people have to wait for so long that some kind of big story that they already tell us in religious things or will show up someday. I think 2, 3 generations passed expecting that where Jesus show up. Oh, it's over now. It's a new paradigm. The Christians wait. The Muslims have their own way of waiting. Mm, because we know the First World War and the Second World War really unfold, taking some kind of victims, but didn't really destroy the world entirely. But a lot of people, millions of people die all over the world. And people expect the third one because it's already predicted 300, 400 years back. Blah, 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 blah. You go on and on and on. You see? It's in the same thinking pattern. If you even see the generalized kind of story, we are set to feel in a certain kind of pattern. They set humanity, including those before us, those who who had died. They have this kind of state of mind because when people are in the second world, they already know there will be also third world war. You know, because it's already a predicted story. You know, Oliver Pike kind of guy predicted, some kind of Freemason predicted that there will be three world wars. A lot of stories which are not really conspiratorial, these documented books and documented stories, people say. You see? So there is some kind of premeditated kind of thing done by powerful people, you know. And then, okay, that makes sense. So if there is always death in the same fucking story that we don't think about, we don't want to think about, why not then? Why not we fantasize like, yeah, the Georgia Guidestone? Then you can fantasize, you can be as evil you can be. In my case, for example, instead of selecting hurt of people, like in one village, I don't want to see two people on purpose getting hurt and the other people ignoring the situation. I think that in justice term, in, uh, in this jurisdiction they got, or in human value, in terms of human understanding, in my understanding at least, is like it's okay when everybody hurt. You know, like if all Palestinians hurt, they feel like, yeah, all of us are hurt, not this guy, not that guy, or Israelis think like that, or any kind of people, borders. Maybe not a good example. You see, it's better than some people. That's why they say, that's why people have this hate against this term called apartheid, because it puts some kind of groups to feel fucked up. That's why a lot of politicians, especially in Africa, they use to get supporters to 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 tell them that they are pushed to the edge, they are demonized, they are marginalized, kind of thing. They use to attract supporters. Even when it's not that's not the case. You see, that's why it is powerful. That's why that news is really infuriating. You see, the entire Europe, in Italy, if you see the demonstrations to, in support of the Palestinian cause, was really too many, too much. From Italy to Amsterdam to every European states. I don't know in America, but in Europe, it's too much because it has like it's apartheid. It's some people are considered less humans other than the others, kind of notion in God. You know, but in general, if you see conflicts in this shit, and even the how human life is gonna be concluded, human existence as human beings, you know, uh, is gonna be concluded in the scriptures. It's like this, the last battle. It's like looking at Lord of the Ring kind of story, the Gog and Magog. They already created artificial borders and call names. We don't even know. Most people don't even know when they say names of countries. Some countries don't are not even a century old. Uh, Most country names is new. Most country names are 300 years old. Most countries are 500 years old. The name itself, the kind of people that a certain kind of place, you know, consists is like, if you see it racially, if you see it in how humanity distributed, if you see that stream, that kind of uh, knowledge, if you know, what do they call it, uh, to study cultures and people, they have some kind of term, like like archaeologists, and they have anthropology, they call it, I think it's anthropology. kind of thing. Because when people are told about religion, they only think about religion, but they don't take other subjects to relate it to. Is it real? Is it what we believe in the story that, like when you say Gog Magog, China, America, Russia, Sudan, Ethiopia, Iran, this country on this side, this country on this side. You have this thing real. I don't think it's a made up story. They told us in Bible, in Revelation, there is a story like that. The last battle is between Gog and Magog. It's about the good over evil kind of thing. In our understanding of good over evil, because Bob Marley songs, I usually say Bob Marley song not because I really listen reggae and I love reggae. I love reggae, but not I'm not really a one kind of music style listener. I'm not that. But the lyrical quality of Bob Marley songs really is intriguing. Some few words in every song have a bigger meaning. You know, that good over evil kind of thing resonates on me to my spirit in a different manner than other people perceive it to be, like religious people, how they think is Gog and Magog. And they tell you this border, but this border, in this border, I don't know what kind of people live now. So actually, the whole thing is a lie. Everything that you told is not really realistic. So when I see like, oh, people think this country is gonna fight this country these days, but we know always countries fight. Today, the other day, they say we are friends, and all that is told in a sense of leadership. Some kind of leadership and politicians, and they say Ethiopia to this country, but it's about one kind of regime in a country with another regime in a country, which the people in that specific country will have a different kind of attitude about that specific kind of political organism, political orgasm, if it's in Africa, that political group or party or that political orgasm. If it is global, it can be organism because they really work their ass off, at least controlling the world or abusing others, but at least for the benefit, generally, relatively for the benefit of the people that they say we represent. You know what I mean? You see, what I mean? It's like today, some kind of Ethiopian politicians and governance uh, is a setup thing. The entire thing is set up. That's why when I think about journalism and understanding of politics, that politics should be defined as misleading the population of the world, is in that understanding. Like, you know, like it may be 5 years, 6 years, if Egyptians has to talk proudly about their ex-president Hosni Mubarak, who fly, who fly a fighter jet, and he tried to bomb Israel, and then after 30 years, you see the entire population infuriated to see, not to see this fucking monster, like they call it that, like my hero, oh my nigga, oh damn you, oh damn, people who act like that. In 5 years, when some guys show up and telling the positive part of it, a hero, a big guy, blah blah. And after a certain period, a monster, a monster, a spanking a British, a Brit girl, a blah blah, a monster, a dictator, blah blah blah. They disappear. You see, in a certain time, there is some kind of leader. So that specific leader and group always will be portrayed in the media. Egypt, our country, our country. No, it's not about leadership. This time it's about our interest. This is about they have that kind of narrative. But in general, it's about that specific leaders and groups of people. Because the same people who say no, when it comes to this kind of stories, it's about us, it's not even about the leadership. And this is usually portrayed and said by journalists, by media people, you know, because they are said to just do that and say that. That's why they will never change, because people are deprived from knowing the truth, you know. you are deprived. To deprive you from knowing, there are a lot of techniques applied on your ads that is programming you. And then the final result is that you don't know nothing. But you listen and you have some kind of narrative that you think is real, in how places relate, how leaders are selected, who is the enemy of what, who. Even media cannot disguise it no more. Like, one country maybe is portrayed as enemy. Even they go to the point of devastating war, but people usually get shocked by war and they think, yeah, that's real. But war is not something that you prove things is real. Not even big wars, leave alone conflicts between two kind of small places. In a bigger world, not even big wars like First World War and Second World War. In how they tell you why it starts like in the First World War, people people really primarily think because some kind of uh, Serbian guy shoot some kind of Hungarian prince or whatever kind of story. You know, you be some story will be narrated to you in a lot of places that things are that way because that you are programmed, and then you don't give a chance for you to balance all these kind of stories. And is it really the case? Is this how the world relate? This, you know, and people usually not only they have short memory, but they also have they are not interested even to know. "Oh, it's not important to me," because there are some personal things other than global things. Even to the point that people are affected, they become refugees. Their entire livelihood will be, they be traumatized in some kind of circumstances. If it happened to be in that specific place, some kind of war hits them. I don't think Syrians in Aleppo, like 15 years, 20 years ago, they will be interested what kind of war is going on somewhere in Eritrea or in Ethiopia. I don't think they'll be interested. They'll be thinking trade with Russia. They go to Iran and they bring Persian, Persian carpet and this shit, trade, money making. And there was this Apple company where the dude is Syrian, so people would be interested in knowing computer, you know, you see, only when it hits them, when they're fucking traumatized, man, this shit happened to our country, then they come to realize, man, it's the game is in turn. We all get this fucking disaster in turn kind of thing that people think like, whoa, you know, every stupid people that they think I'm easy thinker, stupid people. When I tell them, don't say the West, don't say Amnesty International, don't say this, don't say that, when they were struggling, that their kind of notion will win in some kind of specific country, in this case in mine, most people will never even give you 1 minute of listening to you because you are not important. It's not, they think they're right. But when they become on power, or when they think like something that they support is in power, and they see what somebody say, and then they come on media telling me what I tell them, telling me what I tell them. I never had a chance to talk it on media when I tell them. They are always on media. When even they tell the world otherwise. I'm not in media when I tell them the truth. I'm not even there when they tell my truth. I'm toasted by this fucking fucked up place in this fucking country. Anyway, getting that. When I tell a story, I tell long, long story. You know what I mean? And then I feel like Yo, Pips. Yo, Pips. You see, this is how the world works. If you have the real understanding of what politics is, how this world is set, which is impossible for people to understand it in the way I understand it. I don't mean I uniquely understand it, but I give myself a chance to be open minded and to navigate through every kind of thing. You know, I can be in a religion. There are moments that I was extremely religious person kind of thing. Notion I am, at least what my spirit thinks that I am really believing something. But at the same time, I question religion with a lot of kind of element outside of religion. You see, I have a daring spirit. I don't know what kind of state of mind I will have tomorrow. But as of today, I know the daring thing that I've done. Show me a lot of things because when people come out and say they were not really lying to me, so then they really didn't understood what I understood, and now they come and tell me, for example, in case of the West, yeah, the West want to do this to us, want to do this to us. The West, people who think the West was fair, but there is nothing like fair in this specific place is fair. This kind of people are uniquely evil, uniquely good, good over evil. It don't exist. Good over evil is a state of mind. I mean, that if that state of mind have power, it will have influence on some kind of people in their lifestyle, in whatever thing it concerns them. You know, but you are misled by knowing terms, terms they use in education, for example. People are really interested in, they really think they acquire knowledge when they use a lot of terms, you know, some things that we create to communicate, to make the understanding easier. But sometimes I think by far 50% of terms they use in a lot of disciplines is to dumb down society. But you are so hypnotized that you think you are known because you have a term, just some kind of word to explain a bigger kind of meaning. But all that thing is connected to set you up, to mislead you in understanding a simple thing without using a term. Most educated people are disconnected from the truth that they can see by themselves by their own energy, some kind of truth that they can understand. Before, for example, journalism, it takes 4 years to have a BA degree in journalism, right? Or some 6 years for masters, or some 7 years to have a PhD in some kind of thing, or you make a research. That's a long process. Through that time, people know a lot of terms. People know how to articulate some kind of things. You know, they will have more word power in the things they say. So people say, yeah, he's educated. He say things. He say words. He say things, terms. That's what it is. And all these people communicate you in a certain manner. When somebody talk, he's a philosopher, he's a doctor in philosophy or psychology. The moment if you see that person talk like 1 2 minutes, and then you understand what kind of discipline in there. But what people don't know on that process, most people, because they will be really devoted that every knowledge, everything, every truth is there. So there is a tendency for people to believe some kind of fucking journalist, you know, in telling them how the world works, when even they know what he's telling them and the experience they have about what they tell them is not real. It's not real. It's never been real because it's not true. Because it has to do with politics. It has to do about places in relationships of human beings and authorities, some kind of man-made authorities and borders you are talking about. You know, and then The entire fucking shit get fucked up. The entire world is misled. You know, nobody understand nobody. But on that moment, somebody will come. Yeah, now he don't understand no more. And people usually don't admit when they don't know, and especially if it's somebody that they demonize or they hate or they are beef with, they don't admit. They will keep on treating themselves nice, like they know it all, but they just know it. Or they say, "Huh, we didn't know that." Only few of them say even, "We didn't know that this is the case." It's so unfair. I mean, people who should be locked forever, that they search for something else to do. You know, no, they will tell you again. They come fresh. They will tell you the things that you tell them. Politicians. They say most people they come up and they were close to some kind of politicians and telling you, sweating to convince you that's the good guy. This thing, that thing. The same people come and tell the person who tell them, no, I don't think you are related to this person properly. I don't think you understand him. They will tell you, they will come and tell you, this motherfucker, you see, he did this, he did that. I thought you were the one who was close to him than me. Yeah, Amnesty International, the report of this, the report of that, the United Nations did that. And then, after 2 years, fuck this United Nations, look what they did. Are telling me something else. Okay. Now, in all points, you're fucked up and you're still talking. You're still bitching up like a bitch. What kind of knowledge, what kind of integrity, what kind of communicado people must have done with this kind of word? But this is the word. People who are not supposed to understand things, given a chance to talk for people. Trash, nonsense. Generation being victims. Generation on generation become victim of misunderstanding and not knowing anything and thinking that they know. Because the knowers themselves, they're supposed to be knowers, are misguided, misled, and self-destructive. In a sense, not self-destructive, their physical thing or the mind, but they self-destruct, in thinking that they know, or they have the power to deny, to be in denial in any moment, so that their interest will be intact. Kind of different kind of people, different kind of discipline, doctor, this professor, this doctor, this, the entire world. Because nothing what I saw in my life, no fucking shit, no fucking title can disguise if somebody is wise or not. That I understand now. The entire world stinks. Because people, when the people tell them there is no truth in this world, there is no truth in this world, in a sense that you think there is a truth in institutions, in authorities. That's not where you find truth. Truth is in you when you see the word, without tampering with other knowledge that you think you know, or people tell you, or media tell you. It's nothing to do with that. Truth is something is real. It's in you. It's like when you know you are doing wrong and right. You know, it's like you already experienced fire. When you put your hand on fire, it burns you. So you don't put it in. No, you don't put your hand on a fire and then, no, I'm not burning. I'm not burning, and your fucking hand is smelting. Kind of reality we have on media, on this, on that. Oh, these fucking motherfucking bastards. So every time they see some kind of leaders, they think they know secret. Yeah, this guy come. Ethiopian president go there in Paris in this G7. Yeah, what they could probably discuss. Blah blah. But if you present there is no some kind of diplomat who can outsmart some kind of political reality that's already premeditated and set. It's not true, because these people, so-called diplomats, they have a certain kind of negotiating kind of character that will be portrayed on media or the efforts they put on that. There is nothing like because somebody, I don't believe because Macron is so smart, you know, that he uniquely will bring France people in, French as an empire something because of his personal thing kind of thing. Don't exist like I don't think I believe like people when they go to some kind of place in Switzerland or these big people, politicians, they get together and some guy outsmart people and get what he want and he go. This is how journalists talk. With passion, they talk two page, 3 page, they write such a thing, romantic paper, and they read it to the subscribers. They're waiting. And this it's simple YouTubers they play with them. Today they tell them, "Whoa, bravo, Ethiopia win! Oh, bravo, this win! Oh shit!" And they wait, subscribers. Oh shit! Oh yeah! Oh wait. This is how people want to see their destiny to be. They don't go further. They don't unleash their intelligence and their energy to know things. They only use it for trashy story, personalized story. And then some motherfucker come and he tell you, whoa, Ethiopia. In the morning, he come with 2 pages of 3 2 pages of, whoa, Egypt, if he's Egyptian. Whoa. And in the afternoon, okay, 200, I make 300. Like if I get 40,000 viewers, I'm not jealous in these people. I like to make money. I could do the same, make money. It's not about that. But you see how they reduce human intelligence to how they trash human intelligence day by day. Imagine when any individual have the access to do that. Imagine the media, the social media that we demonize, the ones who control the social media itself, the owners of YouTube, the intelligence that's involved in that thing, in the Facebook, on the YouTube, and government relation with these companies. You know, those who puppet the puppet masters. Imagine what kind of life they set the sheeple. When those people give access to every individual, it becomes obvious, yet people will respond because it becomes addiction. In the morning, somebody will come and tell you, "Wow, bravo! Wow, you want to see the bravo? The bravo is enough. Oh shit, will be afternoon. 40,000, 40,000. If it's a million subscribers, story million. So if you see, the world show you as an individual, they are proving on you. You see, as an individual, this is what you do. But as a collective, something that is bigger than you want to demonize it. These motherfucking monsters, this motherfucking Hitler, Nazi, fucking people. It's merely you don't have access. That's why I always see people, humanity, human psychology, human meanness is the same. Is the same. Only it's about opportunity. You don't have the access to be big guys to do the same monstrous thing. That's why when you really philosophize and understand human psychology, you're not going to be purely humanitarian. You're not going to be. You'll be far from that because then you understand the basic psychology of humanity, what humanity is. A lot of people who follow politics understood when they thought these um, activists, very well known activists who say, we for humanity, we for that, when all that is over and when they think their ideal is in the making or it have the upper hand, then the same people and other people who consider them like enemies understood. They see, they cannot believe their eyes that is that humanitarian eyes. That guy who was crying, I was in prison kind of guy is talking. That guy who can explain to you how monstrous is this kind of Nazi personalities, dictators, or evil people kind of people are becoming evil, yet don't even stop to narrate it that way. And people looking at the same fucking face, but this time changing different kind of mask. How monstrous is that? Because people usually they never knew Nazi. Because when Hitler, from his young age, in the 1940 or 30 something to the last war, to 45, to the end of the Second World War, people know Nazi as Nazi. He got back to the mountain where he designed how the world should be. He frustrated Eva Braun here and there. He fucked bitches here and there. They make all black hair bitches blonde, and he fuck everything. The Germans fuck everything in Europe they could fuck, and then the story ended there. Yeah, but never change mask. You never saw Hitler come and tell you Jews were nice guys, but I'm sorry, I fuck up. No, he never had that chance. He get old, he dead, or he escaped to Argentina. Conspiracy don't matter, but this is what happened. You know. But sometimes in your lifetime, you see people who, young people, because they still have time. They still, maybe they are middle aged, so they have 50 years to change some kind of 20 masks. And this is the reputation of viewers and intellectual, true intellectuals, observing people, how they become chameleons, how they do things. And then morality. There is no trust no more between humanity. That much it can go, African politics. I'm talking about silly, nasty ass activist or some kind of talkative guy who will make a living by talking as a journalist or activist, blah, blah. Imagine. Imagine. You could see, literally, you could see somebody who was demonizing some kind of regime or government as a monstrous government. How could you do this? The ultimate defender of human value and humanitarian cause kind of people. He will swear to God that some guy who didn't do a goddamn thing, if he hate him or if he think is a wrong person in what he thinks is right and wrong, you have to kill this guy. Is this the same guy? You'll be shocked. In Ethiopia, you have different kind of people. People just saw this kind of people. በኢትዮጵያ ኬዝ ማት እዚህ ይላቸዋል። በአማርኛ እንደው ሊቀጥሉ 33ኛው ደቂቃ ሲሳይ አጌና ስዩም ተሾሙ አቤት አወራራቸው ሲገዘገ ፌስቡክን ጥርቅም አድርጎ ታንቱን እሰረው ያለዛ ወያኔዎች ይመጣሉ። ከሀገር ልለቅ ነው። ከዛ እንዲመጣና ሳለወርቅ ከዛ እንዲወጣና ቴድሮስ አድሃኖም ብራቮ Ethiopians, bravo. One Ethiopian guy hold a good position in a global institution. Fuck you, low life. Or go in Europe, wash your dish for living. Punk, you're nothing. You wait 2 years. Fuck Tedros Adhanom. Fuck him. He play against Ethiopia. Fuck you. Imagine me being treated by this bunch of suckers like this. All of them are veterans, and they boast like they show up on the screen before everybody. We started talking on the media. We are the ones who start. Just 3 years ago. Bravo, Tedros Adhanom. This scumbag, disgusting people who don't have pride when one of them become elected, being elected for United Nations as, as who? United Nations Health, blah, blah. A director general of for who? Aratawu, Aratawu. Now, Tedros Adhanom, TPLF lobby. Fuck, he destroy his country. He want to destroy his country. Fuck America. Fuck Amnesty International. Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck. And every kind of individual in the country have one passport. This is equal to this, equal to this. And the same kind of people still didn't shame. They become more noisy. They become more noisy. It's like they will narrate to you a video you could probably has made 3 years ago, 2 years ago. They will read for you. They will read for you. And they dig for a video that they already make. If there is anything that is confusing, that they say, we told you so, but they never been in this vibe and never said anything like that. Denial, despicable, disgusting human beings. I know how the world works. I know what politicians are. I know there is nothing of anything in the reality of the world that journalists and some kind of people who write columns, like they know some kind of politics, this country, how this country is doing this, doing that, nothing of that sort. Not even close. They don't have a clue how the world works till this day. I'm not talking about ordinary people. I'm talking about journalists as a whole. In Africa, most journalist companies, journalism, in the entire journalism, they do know nothing. But they get used to talk in a certain manner, misleading the general population, the sheeples, in how the world works, in how their representatives and governments deal with other people, in what kind of manner they deal with them, blah, blah. They give away all their freedom. They give away all the rights for some kind of political secretful elite to deal in any way on behalf of them. But after that time, I tell you, usually for third world banana republic countries, some kind of leadership, they'll get max 30 years or so. That's average. And then the same people change their face. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain for them. It's, to me, my energy, within me, my energy forced me not to tell about these people. They have the audacity to tell you truth that you tell them, that you plead for them. This is not how the world works. I don't think you know. I don't give a fuck where you graduate, what you are. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. You don't interest me. It's as if they are fighting not to tell the truth to the people, to the sheeple. It always irritates me, people. Such kind of fucked up people irritate me. I hate to see their fucking faces. I hate to see them, but that's the only thing we can see. We're locked. So when I tell you about lockdown, what lockdown? We already locked down. We are forced to see the same kind of people. Social media, it's arranged in a certain manner that it don't resonate with your energy. You know, everything is said that everybody could get irritated or not be interested in it. Not only me, the entire population. Because if you start misleading people, you end up people not being really happy about what they do, because social media is usually occupied by all people in the world. All people in the world benefit out of it. But yet they are not really satisfied. The world is not really satisfied. You see, imagine the people like me, exceptional cases that we experience such kind of assholes, and the same people are benefiting from from the lie they tell. Still insulting people who tell them that's not how the world works. And now they come, fuck America, fuck America. They put themselves the Gog Magog narration for the powerful people. Yeah, we are the Gog Magog. Okay, I'm the Magog now. I don't know which one is the bad, the Magog or the Gog. You know, I think the Chinese they call them the Magog. I don't know what the fuck. If you see the entire financial system, everything, the Gog Magog finance is in New York, through New York. Everything is channeled through one system. The machine, the big monster is one devil with 6 horns, 7 horns, blah blah. And then I saw this devil come, like they fucking retard story of the Revelation, retard story, you know, like these fucking movie people they make, you know, like the Lord of the Ring, the people who make Stenenberg or Stenenberg my ass, kind of fantastic, yeah. The entire the Gag and Magog finance and everything is revolving in the same fucking shit, but they already devise some kind of channeling. And the same idiot people they get in that. Yeah, I'm the Magog. I'm waiting the Gog to come to fight with me. Which country you live in? Which country you live in? You know the guy who say which country you live in have the same blood with another country. He say is another country. I mean, how foolish people can be. How stupid and fucked up people can be. Man, this world is crazy. Anyway, in the way I understand this word, bunch of assholes, trash are assholes, they graduate for some corner, they show up and tell a story to the whole world, misleading them. There's nothing new. So I wake up in the morning. I was thinking I was doing something in my house. What comes to my mind is the Georgia Guidestone kind of story, which conspiracy theorist people talk. If that shit is real, if that stone is real, and some kind of powerful people are in it, I don't want to be called sociopath or psychopath or whatever, but I want in. Sons of bitches, man. Sons of bitches. Idiotic sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. Idiotic.